On July 14th, the main Ottoman host arrived, a demand for our surrender their greeting. Our leader, von Starhemberg, his face granite, gave them their grim, final answer: refusal. We all knew of Puchtoldsdorf, where surrender meant only a quicker death at their hands. That massacre erased all thought of capitulation, forging our will into unbending, hardened Viennese steel. The siege began in earnest, their shovels scarring the earth, digging lines toward our walls. The enemy, like patient serpents, began their slow, methodical advance across the cleared, open plain. They had cannons, yes, but their true weapon was the mine, a dark threat from below. Under our very feet, their sappers burrowed, seeking to shatter our foundations with black powder. Our old palisades were rotten, so we drove great tree trunks deep into the earth now. A desperate, splintered shield, but one that bought us precious days against their inexorable, certain advance. Weeks bled into a month, our bellies aching with a hunger as constant as the cannons. Fatigue was a disease, and Starhemberg's order to shoot any man sleeping on watch echoed. Then came a whisper of hope, a rumor of victory from Beisamberg, Lorraine beating Thököly. It was a single candle in a vast darkness, but for a day we celebrated. But their sappers were relentless, their mines tearing gaps in the walls between the bastions. The Borg Ravelin, our crucial outer defense, was shattered by their terrible, patient, dark explosions. So we dug our own tunnels, a grim, subterranean war against their burrowing, silent miners. Down in the suffocating dark, we fought them with shovel, pickaxe, and our own desperate countercharges. Finally, the Turks swarmed the rubble, taking the Ravelin and the low wall beside it now. The fight was at our main gates. The next breach would be in the city itself. We began to barricade the inner streets, preparing for the final, bloody, desperate house-to-house battle. Every man, woman, and child knew that the final stand was now truly at hand. Then, from the north, came the most incredible news, a rumor almost too faint to believe. Sobieski, King of Poland, had crossed the Danube, his great army marching to our relief. Sobieski, they said, a legend who had shattered the Turks before, was given supreme command. The fate of Vienna, and perhaps Christendom, now rested upon his famed and experienced shoulders. Even then, we heard the Turks in the rear were uneasy, the Tatar Khan refusing battle. Their vast, sprawling host, it seemed, was not as solid as its numbers might have suggested. And then we saw it, a sight that brought tears to the eyes of starving men. Bonfires, blooming like defiant flowers of hope on the dark slopes of the Kahlenberg Heights. Our commanders needed to respond, to coordinate, so they sent Kulczyk, a master of disguise. He slipped through enemy lines like a ghost, our fate now carried in his steady hands. With the dawn came the most glorious sight a besieged man could ever hope to see. The entire relief army, a forest of steel and faith, arrayed on the hills above. A new strength surged through our veins, a fire rekindled in our exhausted, weary hearts. We were no longer dying in a trap. We were now the anvil for their hammer. Below us, the Turks scrambled, caught between our defiant walls and Sobieski's descending, holy wrath. I gripped my musket, the world holding its breath for the charge, for our final deliverance. The Kahlenberg, once a symbol of our entrapment, now became the staging ground for our salvation. The sight of our allies on the heights washed away months of despair in an instant.